How's it going, everyone? My name is Alex with 4.0 School Services, and welcome to your training module on child seat safety. As a Type 3 driver for 4.0 School Services, you're going to encounter a variety of students. Some of them are going to be in preschool, some of them are going to be early in their elementary career. Because of this, you're going to need to know all about child safety seats. In this video, you're going to learn all about car seats, all about boosters, and which child needs to be in each one. You're also going to learn proper installation of each type of child safety seat into the vehicle, as well as proper child securement. I know what you're thinking to yourself, Alex, I've had kids. I know how to buckle kids into a child safety seat, and I don't doubt that you do. But it seems like every single year, the recommendations for ages and heights and who's supposed to be in a car seat or a booster, they're changing. So whether you know everything there is to know about child safety seats or you've never seen one in your entire life, this video will help us get all on the same page. Let's get started. This is some general child safety seat information that you're going to need to know. When selecting a child safety seat, it must be appropriate for the child's age, height, and weight. It must fit tightly into your vehicle and not move more than 1 inch from side to side at the belt path. The back seat is the best place for child safety seats. Always refer to the child safety seat instructions and vehicle manufacturer's instructions for weight limits, proper use, and installation. Avoid seats that are too old. Most manufacturers will recommend replacement at 6 years. Most child safety seats have registration cards. When registered, the manufacturer will notify you of any recalls. If you would like to do more research on your own, you can visit the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration at www.nhtsa.gov. Now, while child safety seats can be broken down into two main categories, 5-point car seats and boosters, it's not that simple. Car seats themselves can be broken down into multiple different categories like rear-facing convertible, forward-facing convertible. Boosters are belt positioning boosters or no-back boosters. So you might be asking yourself, Alex, which child safety seat do I choose? Well, here's who belongs in a rear-facing child safety seat. All infants and toddlers should ride in a rear-facing child safety seat until they are 2 years of age or they reach the highest weight or height allowed by the seat's manufacturer. All children 2 years or older, or those younger than 2 who have outgrown their rear-facing weight or height limit for their seat, should use a forward-facing child safety seat with a harness for as long as possible, up to the weight or height allowed by the seat's manufacturer. All children whose weight or height is above the forward-facing limit for their car safety seat should use a belt positioning booster seat until the vehicle seat belt fits properly, typically when they have reached 4'9" or 57 inches in height and are between the ages of 9 and 12. When children are old enough and large enough to use the vehicle seat belts alone, they should always use lap and shoulder seat belts for optimal protection. All children younger than 13 years of age should be restrained in the rear seats of vehicles for optimal protection. So now that you know who goes into each type of child safety seat, let's learn how to install them properly in your vehicle. And then we're going to learn how to properly secure a child in each type. Let's start with a rear-facing child safety seat. A rear-facing seat can be buckled into the rear seat of a vehicle by utilizing the car seat base, or on models that don't have a base, by running the buckle through the child seat itself. Some models of seats will not have a base. Regardless of which model you are installing, be sure to do the following. Pull the seat belt out as far as you can. This will engage the locking mechanism on the vehicle seat belt. You will know this is done properly when you hear an audible clicking sound when you allow the belt to retract. After the locking mechanism has been engaged, run the belt through the proper belt path of the base or car seat and buckle the seat belt of the vehicle. Pull out as much slack of the seat belt as possible to lock down the car seat or base tightly to the vehicle's rear seat. Put your body pressure on the seat and pull the seat belt even tighter to be sure that the base or car seat is tight. You don't want the seat or base to be able to move more than 1 inch left to right. Ensure that the car seat is at a 30 to 45 degree angle. This will allow an infant or toddler under 2 years of age to lay their head safely and comfortably. Once the angle gets too steep, a child's head may fall to the side or forward and obstruct the ability to breathe properly. Now that we've got a rear-facing seat installed, let's talk about how to secure a child in a rear-facing child safety seat. First, place the child in the car seat. Buckle both hip belts to the center buckle that comes out of the seat of the child safety seat. Buckle the chest clip of the child safety seat. Ensure that the chest clip is in the center of the chest and level with the armpits. Ensure that harness straps are snug, straight, and flat. You shouldn't be able to pinch the strap with your thumb and forefinger. If you can, the straps are too loose. Make sure to take up the slack. The top of the child's head should be no closer than 1 inch to the top of the plastic shell of the rear-facing child safety seat. Alright, those are the basics of a rear-facing child safety seat. Let's move on to a forward-facing child safety seat. Regardless of which model you are installing, be sure to do the following. Pull the seatbelt out as far as you can. This will engage the locking mechanism on the vehicle seatbelt. You will know this is done properly when you hear an audible clicking sound when you allow the belt to retract. After the locking mechanism has been engaged, run the belt through the proper belt path of the car seat and buckle the seatbelt of the vehicle. Pull out as much of the slack of the seatbelt as possible to lock down the car seat tightly to the vehicle's rear seat. Put your body pressure on the seat and pull the seatbelt even tighter to ensure that the car seat is tight. You don't want the seat to be able to move more than 1 inch left or right. Now that forward-facing child safety seat is installed, let's learn how to put a child in there safely. Place the child in the car seat. Buckle both hip belts to the center buckle that comes out of the seat of the child safety seat. Ensure that the harness straps are at or above shoulder level. Buckle the chest clip of the child safety seat. Ensure that the chest clip is in the center of the chest and level with the armpits. Ensure that harness straps are snug, straight, and flat. You shouldn't be able to pinch the strap with your thumb and forefinger. If you can, the straps are too loose. Make sure to take up the slack. The midpoint of the head is not to be above the top of the plastic shell of the child safety seat. Now, this is a good time to mention an alternative method of child safety seat installation, and it's called the latch system. Latch stands for Lower Anchors and Tethers for Children, and some vehicles are equipped for the latch system. Latch secures a child safety seat to the vehicle using straps from that safety seat that are connected to special metal anchors in the vehicle. There are 2 lower anchors and 1 upper tether anchor that must be connected. After both lower anchors are connected and all the slack is removed, the upper tether is attached behind the seat to one of the many pre-installed anchor points within the vehicle. The slack must be removed from this as well. Rear-facing seats will most likely not use the upper tether. When using the latch system, do not use the vehicle's seat belts. It's important to note that not all rear-facing and forward-facing car seats are equipped with the latch system. If your seat doesn't have latch, use the vehicle's safety belts, as mentioned before. Now, once a child has outgrown their forward-facing child safety seat, it's time to move them to a high back booster, also known as a belt positioning booster. All children whose weight or height is above the forward-facing limit for their child safety seat should use a belt positioning booster seat until the vehicle seatbelt fits properly. Typically, this is when they have reached 57 inches in height and are between 9 and 12 years of age. Children may need a belt positioning booster until a no-back booster can be used. A high back booster or belt positioning booster, BPB, will have a built-in slot above the shoulder so that the vehicle seatbelt will follow the correct path to lay properly across the child's shoulders. This shoulder belt should always go in front of the child across their chest and never behind the child or under the child's arm. The lap belt should tuck under each armrest of the booster seat and rest securely on the child's hips on both sides. If the lap belt lays incorrectly across the stomach of the child, it could cause serious injury in the event of a crash. It is important to note that when any booster seat is not in use, that it is buckled into the seat using the vehicle's seatbelt. This will prevent the booster seat from flying through the cabin if an accident occurs. When a child is in a booster seat and they are at a height where the shoulder belt falls correctly across the shoulder with no help, they can safely sit in a no-back booster seat. If the shoulder strap doesn't fit correctly across the shoulder and lays across any portion of the neck when seated, there is a greater risk of serious injury in the event of a crash. Now, that was a lot of information. Some of it you might have already known, some of it you probably didn't know. But now that you know what to do, let's talk about some things to avoid. In rear-facing child safety seats, here's some things you should avoid. Loose-fitting straps. Check to protect. Take out the slack. Avoid the wrong angle. You want it to be between 30 and 45 degrees. Avoid a loosely buckled car seat. Avoid overly bulky clothes on the child. Sometimes the car seat is too small for the child. Chest clip is too high or too low. The seatbelt might be going through the wrong belt path. Buckles and clips are not fastened. Hard toys placed into the seat with the child. Never put a rear-facing child safety seat in the front seat. Here are some things to avoid on a forward-facing child safety seat. Loose-fitting straps. Check to protect and take out the slack. Loosely buckled car seat. Overly bulky clothes on the child. The car seat is too small or too big. The chest clip is too high or too low. Seatbelt going through the wrong belt pack. Buckles and clips not fastened. Harness is not at or above shoulder level. Hard toys placed into the seat with the child. And the forward-facing child safety seat is not in the back seat. Here are some things to avoid with a booster seat. Shoulder belt does not cross shoulder where it should. The belt is in front of the neck area. Shoulder belt tucked behind the child. The child has a shoulder belt tucked under one of their arms instead of across their chest. Sitting in the booster with a backpack still on. Overly bulky clothes not allowing for proper belt placement. The lap belt is on top of the armrest, putting pressure on the stomach. Children given hard toys to play with. Well, there you go. That wraps up our training module on child seat safety. I don't doubt that you knew some of that information, but there was probably a lot of things that you didn't know. Regardless, we are all on the same page now. However, the most important part of your child safety seat training takes place in this van, where you will grab a child safety seat and learn how to install it properly. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.